This model kit review is of the Yamaha YZF-R1, and it is a 1/12 scale model by Tamiya, and it's some very nice box art. Got some of the dimensions there, and the sort of the paint line up there. Here's a photograph of the actual bike, and looks like some other options to paint. Let's have a look inside and see what we've got inside the kit. 1/12 scale, so standard for motorcycles, and it's Tamiya, so I'm expecting a good quality kit with lots of good parts. Let's start off over here with our tires, some low profile tires, and we've got a little screwdriver with a spring. Here's our rear tire, some nice, oh, these are rubber, very nice, not vinyl. In our front, we've got some detail on the inside of that tire, some writing, Michelin 160 or 50ZR17. We've got some tubing, and that's for brake hoses and fuel pipes and so on. We've got some screws, very fine screws, with our very small screwdriver, and then the spring for suspension. It's quite a stiff spring. Okay, let's have a look at these ones, these sprues. So over here, looks like part of our front headlight assembly there. We've got our side mirrors, some engine parts. Look at the quality here of this molding. This is the handlebar. Quality is incredible. We've got a radiator, all the detail there. No flashing or mold lines or anything. Really, really clean. And over here, we've got some body parts. We've got the cowling here for the side, and our nose, with our headlights over there. Also, molding quality is incredible. It's so clean and smooth. The no mold lines or anything like that. We've got our fuel tank and the rear part of the bike there. Very part of our mud guards. Just really, really well molded. Now, Tamiya's chrome is way better than any of the other brands. Just the way that they paint them and mold them. Usually it's in a part that you can cut off, and you don't have to worry about a part being, visible afterwards. Usually it's covered. You can see the weld line on the bike. That kind of level of detail. We've got our headlights, part of the bike's frame here. Some that's our steering column, fuel cap. Just really, really nicely molded and painted. Okay, so next is our glass. So here's the windshield glass. We've also got our headlight glass there and rear lights. Nicely molded and a good level of detail. We've got our wheels. This is the rear wheel, it's wider, and then the front wheel. Some engine parts there. Our exhausts. Look at the detail here. This is the chain. More engine parts. Just an incredible amount of detail. Our disc brakes. They're just beautiful. Look at the detail here. The drilled and slotted brakes. Probably our carburetors there, hoses, just phenomenal. Okay, and then we've got our decals. And this bike has a fair amount of decals for racing. Beautifully printed, good quality. Got our radiator. Is it supposed to be carbon fiber maybe? I thought maybe we were going to the radiator. Actually looks like it's carbon fiber. Decals there. And then all the logos. Okay, so now we've got some details here about the bike. And a very long sheet. So let's see if we can work our way through this here. Start off with the, well, it's the engine stand, but the engine. And then we're going to put together the rest of the parts of the engine. We've got the tubing there for probably fuel. Carburetors going together, and the rest of the engine is then built. And then we put together the rear fender with brake lights. And over here we've got the bike frame going together, and the engine is then mounted, and our suspension as well as the swing arm and chain. Over here we've got our wheel and tire going on there, and that's all then mounted. And then there's the brake lines there, the final tubing. Over here we've got our exhaust manifold and muffler. And then there's the radiator. Disc brakes going together. That's for the front. And then the front fork, steering column there, with the fender going together. And then steering going on top of the front fork. That's all then mounted onto the bike, instrument panel, and then all of our cowling. There's the headlights and our side mirrors. That's all mounted onto the nose or front cowl. And then the seat and fuel tank goes on there. And lastly, the side going on with blinkers. So wow, that's an incredible amount of detail, exceptionally molded. Here is the paint and decal guide. So that's for the bluish white cocktail, it says. And here's a purple blue, another blue white version, and then the deep purple blue one. Interesting, I don't see one for the red one that's on the box. So I guess here's some of the details there, but you can put it in the red and white paint scheme. Just an incredible model, another one from Tamiya.